What if the Israel-Iran conflict isn't just a regional dispute, but part of a much bigger game? Russia, China, and Iran, three unlikely allies, are quietly forming a powerful bloc with one common goal: challenging U.S. dominance. But what's in it for them? Could this conflict be setting the stage for something far larger? And how are Russia's moves in Ukraine and China's ambitions in Taiwan connected to this? Today, we'll explore how these nations are playing a high-stakes game of power and influence. The real question is, what's their end game? And how might it affect the world? The phrase, "the enemy of my enemy is my friend," perfectly encapsulates the relationship between Russia, China, and Iran, especially in the context of the Israel-Iran conflict. While each of these countries has its own unique reasons for viewing the United States as an adversary, this shared opposition has created a strategic alliance among them. Together, they aim to challenge U.S. dominance, and the Israel-Iran conflict provides an opportunity for them to deepen their ties. Russia and China have long viewed the U.S. as a geopolitical competitor, particularly in their efforts to reduce American influence on the global stage. Over the years, both countries have formed various alliances, such as BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO), in an attempt to counterbalance U.S. hegemony. Iran, with its own history of tense relations with the U.S., found a natural alliance with these two powers. In 2023, Iran officially joined BRICS, further cementing its partnership with Russia and China, and aligning itself with their vision of a multipolar world where no single country, especially the U.S., holds all the power. At the individual level, Iran has supported Russia in its conflict with Ukraine, providing drones and other military equipment. This assistance has strengthened Iran's relationship with Russia and generated goodwill among Russian leadership and its people. Russia, in return, is now in a position where it feels the need to repay Iran for its help. While direct military support might be difficult for Russia due to its ongoing involvement in Ukraine, it can assist Iran indirectly. This current conflict with Israel diverts global media attention from Ukraine, which could give Russia the breathing space it needs to regroup and prepare for a major offensive in Ukraine without being under constant scrutiny. Although Russia is a Christian-majority country, it has regions with significant Muslim populations, particularly in its southern provinces. In the context of the Israel-Iran conflict, supporting Israel would not only alienate these Muslim regions, but could also prove politically disastrous. The Russian government, embroiled in the Ukraine war, relies heavily on the support of its people. By siding with Iran, Russia not only strengthens its ties with the Muslim world, which has historically been wary of U.S. actions in the Middle East, but also ensures domestic stability by gaining the favor of its Muslim citizens. Moreover, while Russia may not be in a position to offer significant military support to Iran due to its own military engagements, it stands to benefit from the conflict in other ways. If global attention shifts from Ukraine to Israel, Russia will have more room to maneuver in its own war efforts. This could enable it to consolidate its position in Ukraine, or even prepare for a larger assault while the world's focus is elsewhere. Additionally, Russia could capitalize on the geopolitical chaos that might arise if oil prices soar, potentially boosting its own economy. China, much like Russia, has its own reasons for supporting Iran in the Israel-Iran conflict. Unlike Russia, China's primary interest in the region is economic. With a vast population and a rapidly growing economy, China has a voracious appetite for energy, particularly oil. To secure its energy needs, China entered into a massive $400 billion deal with Iran to ensure a stable supply of oil for the foreseeable future. If the conflict between Israel and Iran escalates and results in an attack on Iran's oil infrastructure, this would have far-reaching consequences for the global oil market. A disruption in Iranian oil production could lead to a significant rise in oil prices, which would not only hurt China, but also affect the global economy. By aligning with Iran, China aims to safeguard its economic interests in the Middle East, ensuring that its energy supply remains uninterrupted. Additionally, China's influence in the region has been growing, and maintaining good relations with key Middle Eastern players, such as Iran, is crucial for Beijing's long-term strategy. While neither Russia nor China is likely to offer direct military support to Iran in its conflict with Israel, both countries stand to benefit from the situation. If oil prices rise due to disruptions in Iranian oil production, Russia could see an increase in demand for its own oil, particularly from countries like China and India. This could provide a much-needed economic boost for Russia, which has been under pressure due to sanctions and the costs of the war in Ukraine. Higher oil prices could also give Russia additional leverage over Europe, which is still dependent on Russian energy supplies to some extent. For China, A prolonged conflict that destabilizes the Middle East could provide a distraction from its own ambitions in Taiwan. With the world focused on Israel and Iran, China might see an opportunity to make moves on Taiwan without attracting as much global attention. Both Russia and China, therefore, have reasons to support Iran indirectly, as it aligns with their broader geopolitical goals. As global attention shifts away from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky could find himself in a difficult position. The Ukraine conflict, which once dominated headlines around the world, may no longer receive the same level of international support or media coverage. This could weaken Ukraine's position in the ongoing war with Russia, as Western countries might become more preoccupied with developments in the Middle East. Furthermore, if oil prices rise and the global economy suffers as a result, countries that have been supporting Ukraine might face domestic pressures to prioritize their own economic concerns over continued military aid to Ukraine. In the complex web of global politics, the strategic alliance between Russia, China, and Iran is a clear example of how countries with shared adversaries can come together for mutual benefit. While each of these countries has its own motivations for supporting Iran in its conflict with Israel, they are united by a common goal: to challenge U.S. influence and create a multipolar world. For Russia, the conflict provides a distraction that could help it in its war against Ukraine, while China seeks to protect its economic interests in the Middle East. In this scenario, the enemy of my enemy truly does become my friend. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights.